Welcome back. Let's jump right in. It's exhausting hearing people pin the blame on someone for being cheated on, with comments like, well, you did this or that, so no wonder he cheated. Let's set the record straight. Cheating is a betrayal, plain and simple, and it's entirely on the cheater, not the person who trusted them. If you're here for more real talk on topics that matter, don't forget to hit subscribe and stay tuned. It's exhausting hearing people pin the blame on someone for being cheated on, with comments like, well, you did this or that, so no wonder he cheated. Let's get this straight. If someone cheats, that's entirely on them. It's a betrayal, plain and simple. The old saying, once a cheater, always a cheater, rings true, unless they actually decide to change. Cheating isn't just a mistake, it's a pattern that tends to repeat. What's both shocking and troubling is that roughly 1 in 4 men admit to cheating in relationships. That's a huge number. If you've been through a few relationships, the odds are high that many of us have been, or could be, on the receiving end of this betrayal. How do we guard ourselves against it? Is there a way to spot a potential cheater before we get too attached? The reality is, it's not always easy to tell. Not everyone who cheats fits the mold of a bad person. They don't all come with obvious warning signs. Some of the subtler clues can include being overly flirtatious, needing constant validation, or showing sketchy behavior online, like leaving suggestive comments or gaslighting you if you bring it up. But the truth is, infidelity doesn't always show itself in clear ways. And it's not only toxic people who cheat. Some people look completely kind and normal, but still betray the ones closest to them. In my experience, finding the perfect partner isn't the point. It's about whether the relationship itself feels healthy and secure. A solid relationship is built on mutual respect, kindness, patience, and shared values. It's where you feel safe and genuinely supported. Cheating isn't a small slip-up. It's a complete breakdown in trust, a betrayal that's tough to forgive or forget. Cheating often feels like the ultimate breach, putting it at the top of betrayal's Hall of Fame. And while infidelity can even happen in a healthy relationship, it's usually a symptom of a deeper issue or imbalance within it. So here's the dilemma with trust. Do you give your full trust and risk betrayal, or do you hold back to protect yourself? Holding back might feel safer, but it also means keeping yourself walled off from warmth and connection, living in a guarded state that blocks out the light. The idea that someone else's actions, like cheating, are because of something you did is just another way of shifting the blame. Cheating is a choice. It's not about a partner's shortcomings. And when someone says, I love you, it can mean different things. For some, it's genuine connection. For others, especially those with narcissistic tendencies, it's I love how you make me feel, or I love what you do for me, rather than real empathy or respect. People cheat for different reasons. Crime of opportunity. Someone normally loyal but gives in to a fleeting temptation. Thrill seeker. Craves excitement, finding the secrecy thrilling. Convenience cheater. Chooses an affair instead of ending an unsatisfying relationship. Online cheater. Engages in virtual interactions that still bring a thrill. Emotional cheater. Develops deep, non-physical connections outside the relationship. Narcissistic cheater. Serial and self-centered, usually blaming the partner. These types reveal how layered cheating is. People cheat for all sorts of reasons. Some people stay in toxic relationships because of betrayal blindness, a concept from Dr. Jennifer Freed. It's when someone ignores the signs of betrayal to avoid the pain of change. Acknowledging infidelity might mean having to face truths that could unravel their entire life. They justify or even repress what's going on, finding it easier to live in denial. In the end, trust issues don't need to hinge on hard evidence. If a relationship feels unstable, harmful, or lacks consistent trust, that alone is reason enough to reconsider. Sometimes just sensing that something's off is enough to take action for your well-being. Betrayal can hide in the back of our minds, stored like a memory on a dusty shelf. It's there, lingering, even if it doesn't show up in everyday thoughts. People dealing with betrayal blindness often feel physically or emotionally drained without pinpointing why. It's like their body knows what their mind is hiding. Over time, ignoring the pain of betrayal can take a toll, even if it's buried deep. And this blindness is even more common in relationships with narcissists, where people are convinced everything is fine because they're not willing to confront the truth. Choosing not to face the truth isn't naivety or ignorance. It's often a conscious choice to avoid the upheaval that comes with reality. I once heard a story of someone who knew their partner was cheating but refused to dig deeper. Accepting it would mean letting go of the life she'd imagined, growing old together, building a future. Confronting the truth meant either leaving and facing those challenges or staying with the knowledge of betrayal. Some people even consider open relationships to manage the risk of cheating, and that can work if both partners communicate clearly about boundaries. But for those who've been betrayed, even an open relationship might not heal deeper wounds, like feeling replaceable or inadequate. Healing is about self-acceptance and learning to value yourself without seeing betrayal as a measure of your worth. After betrayal, people often carry scars that never fully fade. Some become cautious, seeing it as a form of self-protection. While it can hold them back, it's also a reminder of their hard-earned wisdom. It doesn't mean they'll never trust again, but they've learned to balance vulnerability with a newfound resilience. Healing from betrayal requires acceptance and compassion. It means recognizing where our struggles come from and finding kindness for those wounded parts of ourselves. By embracing self-compassion, we can rebuild trust within ourselves, realizing that we can handle whatever challenges come our way. We might regret past choices, but instead of judging ourselves, we can learn and grow. One of the hardest betrayals to overcome is when a close partner violates our trust. When someone we've opened up to lies or cheats, it's not just a matter of losing trust in them. It can also shake our trust in ourselves and others. Many of us wonder, how did I miss the signs? Betrayal blindness, as psychologists call it, keeps us attached by ignoring red flags. We often ignore what's right in front of us because facing it would mean confronting pain and possibly making life-altering decisions. Friends might notice the signs of betrayal before we do, since they're not emotionally entangled. If you're concerned about a friend, approach them with empathy. Gently asking about their well-being can open up a space for them to see things differently. But remember, betrayal blindness might lead them to dismiss your concerns, especially if they're not ready to face reality. In relationships, people's boundaries around betrayal vary widely. For some, emotional exchanges or online flirting might be just as painful as physical cheating. Communicating openly about these boundaries can prevent misunderstandings. Acceptance is essential for healing. It doesn't mean we approve of what happened, but it helps us move forward with compassion for ourselves. Whether that means forgiveness or just processing our emotions, acceptance can lead to growth, allowing us to rebuild trust both in ourselves and in others. For centuries, people have dealt with relationship struggles, whether to stay, whether to leave, and how to heal. These issues are universal and personal, and they're deeply interconnected. Through this journey, I've learned that growth comes from facing our insecurities and knowing our worth. By learning to find joy in our own company, we let go of jealousy and embrace the freedom of trusting ourselves fully.